Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm in my new podcast room, so my background does look a little of the same, a little of new. I do have a little bit more room in here, so I'm excited. I got moved all into my new room today, so I'm very excited about that. How is everyone doing? Hi, Missy. Hi, Uncle. Hi, Justin. How you guys doing today? Have you guys had a good week? It's hump day. It is hump day, and today and tomorrow is supposed to be the fucking hottest day of the week. And let me tell you, I believe it because man, it was a scorcher out there today. I tried to get out there the earliest possible to get everybody's pools done. And at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're already like, give me the mud puddle. Holy shit. Man, it was bad. It was bad. So, but it is hump day. You are more than halfway over the week. You've only got Thursday and Friday left. Then I will be having the podcast Saturday night instead of Sunday because Annie will be here in person and we will be doing another sour challenge. This is actually sour cotton candy challenge that we're doing this time. And I had heard about it and ordered it, and there's 5 different flavors. And it tells you right on the bag, like the least amount of sour all the way to the sourest. So we're going to see how many we can get through. So we'll be doing that. But Saturday, we will be going to the Watermelon Festival in Cordele, Georgia. And we are looking forward to that. We're just going to have a quick little girly getaway for the day and eat. I will finally be able to eat some yellow and orange watermelon that I did not know existed until recently. So I'm going to definitely try to bring some home so I can have some more and maybe try to plant some, Yeah. Hopefully, can grow some out here in my own fucking yard. Anywho, but tonight we're talking about Kansas, and I only have 7 tonight, but there's a few of these that are very long. Now, there's one of them you guys are going to absolutely know it. We have talked about it before, and it's called the Sally House. Y'all remember us talking about the Sally House? Now, apparently, the town of Atchison, Atchinson. Actually, I don't think there's an N. I think I spelled that wrong. I think it's Atchison. I think it's just Atchison. Hello, Stephen. And apparently that whole town of Atchison is completely haunted. But I do have a few of the most haunted places there. But we have talked about the Sally House in prior podcasts when we were talking about haunted locations. Now, this is in Atchison. It has earned the title of the most haunted house in the country because of the intense and violent outbursts from the ghosts on this property and on the inside. Built between 1867 and 1871 by Michael Finney. Hello, Spirit Stalker. How you doing, girl? Michael Finney passed away in this house shortly after in 1872. So he only got to live in the house that he built for a year. After this, his son, Dr. Charles Finney, took over the home. Now, Spirit Stalker, I don't know when you came in, but we're talking about the Sally House. I know you've heard of the Sally House because we have talked about the Sally House before. Okay, so Dr. Charles Finney took over this home. Now, he was one of the few doctors in Atchison at this time. He and his family lived upstairs, and downstairs was his doctor's office, where the front room was his front desk. In the early 1900s, physicians relied on all kinds of ailments, including for medical emergencies. At this time, Atchison did not have a hospital, and they didn't have one until 1914. This is why one fateful day, a desperate mother was pounding on his door. So the doc ran to see who needed help. The patient was a 6-year-old girl named Sally, who had collapsed from extreme pain in her stomach. He quickly realized she had appendicitis, and her appendix was about to rupture, which would be fatal. He quickly took her to a bed and administered anesthesia. However, believing she was moments from death, he made the fateful decision to begin the surgery before the anesthesia took effect. Little Sally was screaming in agony, but was going quiet. She was then limp and lifeless. And the doc knew it was too late. He tried his best, but could not save her. So Sally, in turn, has never left the place. She has experienced that traumatic last moments of her life. Now, no one knew this, though, until the Pickman family chose this house as their new home in 1992. They were newly married, and she had one on the way. They decorated one room upstairs as a sweet nursery. For a few months, nothing happened. Everything was great. But the lights would start turning on and off in that one room, just the one room. Any electric would not work in that room. Shit, I forgot. I lost my place here. Where was I? Oh, here it is. Okay. Any electric would not work in that room, but then their typically calm dog started barking and growling at that room, and the dog would not enter the door of that room. A while later, after being gone for the day, they came home and went upstairs to put the baby to bed. They found all the baby's stuffed animals arranged in a big pile in the middle of the floor instead of where they are normally stacked on the chair. Excuse me. They thought someone had broken into their home. They put the baby in his crib and started searching. Nothing in this whole house was turned, touched, bothered, except that room. Now, while they were downstairs, they saw the light in the room come back on. So they went back up, and all the stuffed animals were back in the floor. Hello, Rumpa. 8 days, honey. 8 days. You'll be here in 8 days. 8 days. They put them away again and kept searching, thinking someone was still in the house. They left the room again, and about 5 minutes later, they peeked in to check on the baby, and all of the animals were put back on the floor again. Now, Tony then confided in a psychic he knew, and then he called her. She confirmed there is a little girl ghost between the age of 5 and 13 years old named Sally. The psychic advised them that she just wants to play and to be included. One day they picked up one of the bears and said, "Sally, say cheese," and took a picture. He saw the bear move himself now, and the eyes turned green. He screamed and ran upstairs. he felt a sudden pain in his back and was horrified to find 3 deep scratches that had drawn blood. Another psychic came and said that Sally said that she scratched him by accident. She told the psychic that she found out he was trying to leave, and her anxiety, that she had anxiety because they were going to leave her alone again. Even though Sally did say that she doesn't like men because of what the bad man did to her. Before long, a lot of different spirits came and went. Tony started hearing them whisper, and it was driving him mad. His wife could not hear them. One night at the dinner table, they all noticed that his forehead started to bleed. When they wiped it off, they cleaned it up. It was a large, deep gash, and he had no idea how it got there. Candles will light up by themselves. And paranormal investigators have come to the house, and only the males can see or hear her. One man literally felt burning. I can't even read my handwriting. One man literally felt burning on his arm and watched a gash be cut in his arm by the unseen entity. People will arrive here as skeptics, but they will leave believers, especially if they're men. Now, I remember we've talked about this Sally house. I remember talking about this surgery. I knew she had been given the anesthesia, but he had started too early. Now, let me tell you something. Anytime I've ever been to surgery and they give me that anesthesia shot, it only takes about 5 seconds and I don't remember nothing. So I don't know how much they gave her, but I guess they started before that even started to fucking take effect. And that was, anyway. So I don't know if maybe they didn't give her enough. I don't know if she passed away because it ruptured. Like it doesn't ever confirm that it actually ruptured and that's why she died. Or did she just die during surgery, or was it because of the dose he gave her? Like I don't know. I don't know. And I couldn't find any other information. But I'd still go there. I don't think I would want to spend the night there. I don't know. Maybe if I was paid to go, I would stay the night there. I've never been to Kansas. I don't know. I'd probably go. I mean, I'd probably go if I had my people with me. Like Spirit Stalker, I think you would go. Annie would absolutely fucking go. And I would just make Rumpa go. That would be fun. That really would be. I'm still waiting for you to send me that episode though, because I'd really like to watch it from last time. Did you go to this one? The Sally house? Because I'm doing Kansas now. I know you'd go. Uncle, I think he would go if there was a group of us. I don't think Uncle would want to go there like just 1 or 2 people. I think Uncle would go if there was a group of us. Terry, and I guarantee Terry and Rita would want to go, but when we get there, they would be on everybody else like they're fucking Velcro, kind of like I feel like Rumpa would. But I definitely know Julie would go. Yes, the Sally house in Kansas, in Atchison, Kansas. Apparently, there's a couple towns in Kansas that, like, the whole towns are like Leavenworth, apparently the whole town, and where's that other? Ellenwood. That's the 3 towns that I heard was super haunted in Kansas. So if I ever do go to Kansas, I'm going to go to one of those places. So the next one I have is also in Atchison, and it's McIntyre Villa. Now, okay, so this villa was built in 1889, and it's the former owner, Nellie McIntyre, died in this house, but she's still there. So she was the daughter of John McIntyre, who built the house. Now, he died in the house peacefully. Why am I thinking that wasn't peacefully? Yeah, I was told that he just kind of died in the house, old age. He loved the house and he wouldn't leave, and he was there and he died peacefully in the house. But she continued to live there until it was sold to Isabel Altus. Now, she was an eccentric violinist. She sold it shortly before her death in 1969 to George Girardi, who started to renovate it, but then he died before he could finish. Now, there have been 9 documented deaths in this house. John McIntyre's first wife, Alice, died in 1891. He married his second wife, Anna. John died in the house in 1902. Anna died in the house in 1916. Now, for a short time, Anna's brother, Charles Conlon, lived there, but he shot himself in the head. He was 34, and his suicide was in 1922. Now, there's Alice McIntyre. She was the first wife, and she passed away in December of 1891. Then there's Anna McIntyre Conlon, the second wife, and she died in 1898. John McIntyre himself died peacefully at the old age, July 17th in 1902. Then Anna Conlon, which was the second wife's mother, December 9th of 1916. Charles Donovan Conlon, which was Anna's son, is the one that died of suicide in 1922. That's the one he shot himself. There was a 4-day-old infant with no name yet die I guess it was a stillborn, in 1924. Isabel Altus died December 15th, 1969. The George Girardi, he hung himself in the attic in 2006. And Thelma Girardi, his wife, she was found dead in the house in 2011. That are the confirmed deaths in this house. Now, it's known for its full body apparitions, disembodied voices. Things all over the house move on their own, and you will always hear different noises. When you're downstairs, sometimes it sounds like somebody is moving furniture upstairs. The stereo will turn on to dated music, mostly orchestra, and the volume will go up and down on that. Shadow figures move about this house and do not try to hide from people. Doorknobs turn on their own and they will shake. Footsteps all the time. People who pass by always see spirits looking out the windows and moving the blinds. I'd go there. Hell yeah, I'd go there. Now, also in Atchison. This is the next one that I have in Atchison as well. Now, this is called the Wagoner House, and it's also known as the Gargoyle House. Now, this house was built in 1889 by Adolph Zang. It's known for its large gargoyle decorations outside and up on the top. It's considered a Gothic style house. Now, the owner, B. Wagoner, was an attorney and a politician in the late 1800s. Now, while gargoyles are usually built to scare off evil spirits, it's said that Wagoner was a very evil man. He accumulated his wealth through a deal with the devil, and the gargoyles in his eyes were to keep the good away instead of the bad. After he passed, the new owner was renovating it. He was trying to remove the gargoyles from outside on the top of the building, and he slipped and fell to his death right there on the property. Now, while this house is not lived in and not open to visitors, there have been some paranormal teams investigate it. They've reported the EVPs, orbs, mists, and shadow figures. You can hear footsteps upstairs when nobody's there. It's reported that the inside messes with your emotions and has caused people to become very angry almost instantly, and they didn't know why. It's said that anyone who has attempted to change anything on or about this house either gets very sick or injured. The devil seems to hover here, maybe because of the pact he had with Wagoner. I don't know. This isn't a place I'd like to go to, though. I don't do evil. Y'all know that. I'd go to the outside of it and be like, that's cool. I don't think I'd want to go investigate there at all, because I just don't. Y'all know how I feel about that shit. So don't do evil. Now, I have one here. It's called Leavenworth. It's the Leavenworth Hotel in Leavenworth. So this was the very first hotel in Leavenworth. Excuse me. Let me just take a drink here and wake up. Now, it opened in 1854. It was a large three-story wooden structure. It was owned by George Heller and A.T. Kyle. Now, Abraham Lincoln was known to stay here a lot. And Lincoln even delivered a speech here in 1859 that was apparently televised. It was expanded later into a 4-story brick building with 100 rooms and was originally called the Planters Hotel. Now, it later was turned into Immaculata High School, and that was a Catholic high school. Now, it turned back into this grand luxury hotel it is today in 2021. And it's part of the trademark collection by Wyndham. Now, I don't know if y'all don't know who Wyndham, like the Wyndham, but they have amazing places. You can actually do like timeshares through Wyndham and stuff like that. Wyndham is amazing. So it retains original original architectural features from original style, including the doorway, high ceilings, and windows. And it blends the old with the new, which I kind of like that stuff. Now, there's only one confirmed death at this hotel, and any deaths that may have occurred sooner may not have been documented, or they might have been lost or damaged. It's said that there are several ghosts living here. Now, there's a man named Robert G. Lynch Jr. He was found dead in his room, and he had been there a few days before he was found. Now, police consider this a homicide because his injuries came back as suspicious. No, not the Salty House, the Sally House, Sallie. Okay, so people believe they have seen Abraham Lincoln in the mirror from behind them. So if they're looking in the mirror, he's behind them in the mirror. And when they turn around, he's not there. They believe he still comes to see and check on the place. There's another male spirit on the second floor who likes to follow people and watch them. He has never done anything to anyone. Staff speak to him daily, and they believe it's Robert Lynch, but are unaware at this time. So shadows and orbs are seen all throughout this hotel. The music is said to start playing from what used to be the gym. People have complained about hearing a band playing. So there's definitely a difference between like a wonderful orchestra and a high school band. So I was in the band. I definitely know what that crap sounds like. So, but yeah, I could see that. I don't see. There's several places that are like, we don't know who it is as of now. They're unknown spirit. Like, I'd hire people, bring psychics in, get some paranormal investigators in there, and try to find out who these people are and use their equipment. Like in private. Paranormal investigators are loving that. They would love to do that shit. If I was nearby, I'd be like, can I come and do it, please? Like, please let us. That's what they want to do. If I owned the place, I'd be like, y'all need to come in here and try to find out who the ghosts are. Like, maybe they don't know what Robert Lynch looks like. I don't know. Maybe they think it's him, but they don't know as of this time. So anyway, now this is also in Leavenworth, and it's Fort Leavenworth. Now the fort established in 1827. It's the oldest continuously operating military post west of the Mississippi River. It played a crucial role in the west expansion of the U.S., serving as a key supply and transportation hub on the Santa Fe and Oregon trails. It was also a significant training ground during the Civil War and Indian Wars. Today, it houses the U.S. Army Command, General Staff College, the military corrections complex. Excuse me. It also houses the U.S. Discipline Barracks, the only maximum security prison for the Department of Defense. Now, the Rookery House is on base, and everyone knew it's an unusual house. Now, an officer and his family moved in there and lived on the base while he served there. Now, at first, things just began to disappear. Like the remote control just vanished. They last had it on the table. It just vanished. They looked everywhere. There was a video camcorder. Remember those old video recorders? Like a video camcorder. Oh, anyway, totally missing. And a wireless phone. There was a wireless phone. They said they put it on the table. Gone. They had searched everywhere. never to be found. About a month later, they came back home from going out to dinner. Before bed, the wife locked up and grabbed her purse to carry it into their room before they went to bed. Her purse was feeling heavy, so she set it on the bed and looked in it, and there was the video cam, the phone, and the remote neatly stacked inside her purse. Now, it progressed to doors opening, closing by themselves. Kitchen cabinets would all be open in the mornings. Men talking. She could hear men talking when she was home by herself. The TVs will shut off. They'll be knocking on the doors and nobody there. The light in the basement always comes on. She says you can go downstairs, turn it off. It turns right back on before you even make it to the top of the stairs. So they leave it on now because the ghost won't leave it off. Now they still live in this house and report the things happening all the time. And that's just one of that's just one of the base homes there. Now, this is a guarded fort. Officers work in the guard house 24/7. Officers claim the gates will open and close on their own. And these gates are not motion sensors like the ones going out, when you pull the car up just close enough and then it opens for the vehicles. These you have to push the button for them to open. One night, drop my pen. One night, one officer said that one night the gate just kept open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, all by itself. And it did it for like an hour. Cars that couldn't come through, he couldn't stop it by pushing the button. Nothing would stop it. It just opened and closed and opened and closed for like an hour. Officers and guests alike that visit the fort always report seeing soldiers walking around the property in dated uniforms, especially the small family plots around the property. It's almost as if they play hide and seek with people. People have reported seeing this one soldier in particular. Now, he rides a horse wearing a dated military uniform with his hat on, and he smokes a cigar. There are no horses on this property. He is seen often just walking with the horse or riding it like he's on patrol. He is never without his horse. There is another soldier that walks around in his uniform as well. He just wanders aimlessly like he's lost. But if someone approaches him, he'll just disappear. It is unknown who these soldiers are. So I think if it's still an active base, fort, whatever you call it, I don't think they would allow a paranormal investigator to come in there. And Rump, are you still in here? So I was told one time that on military, I don't know if it's all of the military bases or just some of them, or maybe it's just Army or just Marines. I don't know. So apparently on military bases, like you can't, if it's after dark, you are not allowed to drive with your headlights on inside the base. Driving up to the guard house, you have to turn the lights off. And you are not allowed to have your headlights on after dark. Not even your parking lights. Now, I thought it was crazy because, sometimes the moon's not out and it's dark as shit and you cannot see. But most of the time on these military bases, they do have these lights that are kind of away from the road It's kind of weird, but the way that they explained it to me is so from the air, they can't see when vehicles are moving. Am I correct in that? Is that every base or just certain ones? I don't know. I just remember I was told that. This was back when I lived in the Keys, still a deputy down there. And there's a naval, they called it the NAS. It's the Naval Air Station down there. And like, for instance, when someone in District 7 goes down and we do a detail down there in District 1, which is a 3-hour drive or 2.5-hour drive for us. If we have to do 2 days in a row, we stay at the NAS. So it was the NAS kind of explained to me that you do not have your headlights on inside or in anyway. Rumpa, is that with every, am I correct in the reasoning, or is it every military base or fort, or is it just certain ones, or is it a different reason? I'm just curious because, we all learn something new every day, right? I learned this and I was like, oh. It's not very often I go to a military base, you know what I mean? So I didn't know. So anyone knew I hadn't, the first time I ever stayed there, the guy at the front told me, they were like, by the way, shut your headlights off. You can't drive around in the base without. I was like, really? And I was in a patrol car. I was in my patrol car. So, but yeah, they would rent rooms to us, to the deputies, for cheap when we had to stay down there instead of driving 2.5 hours home to go 2.5 hours back the next morning to go 2.5 hours back home. They would just rent us the room for $20 for the night. You know what I mean? So that way we wouldn't have to drive so long. So, hello. I don't know. Anyway, nobody's answering. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm right or not. I guess I can ask around, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll move on. Okay, so now this one is called the Midland Railroad Hotel, and this is in Wilson. So this was built in 1899 by Wilk Power as the Power Hotel. It was once considered one of the most elite. It's a 3-story limestone home with 28 elegant rooms. Now, back in the day, it was lit with acetylene gas. And it was a popular stay along the Union Pacific Railroad between Kansas City and Denver. Now, in 1902, kind of yes and no, you're not wrong, but too much to text. Then make sure to tell me when you're here, and that way when we're live, we won't be wondering anymore. Okay. In 1902, the gas caught the entire hotel on fire, and it was full of guests at the time, and most of them died in this accident. They never got a full number of how many died. Now, they had to gut the entire building, and it was restored and reopened as the Midland Railroad Hotel. Now, when it was rebuilt, they did the modern heating and electric, so they won't have gas, they said, there anymore. Those that stay here always claim strange happenings. There's a little girl that runs around the halls, and she will even run in and start jumping on the beds right in front of the guest. Guests have literally immediately come back to the front desk and says the little girl ran in their room while they were opening their door, and she won't get down from jumping on the bed. They've had to explain to many people that she's not real. Even though she looks real, she's not. Now, people claim that they also smell smoke. And they have also called down to the guest and claimed that a small fire started into the corner of their room and then it extinguished itself. There's a lot of spirits here and nobody knows how many exactly. They believe it's the people that died in the fire. Apparitions are seen constantly roaming the hallways dressed in dated clothing. So I'd go there. I want to see a little girl jumping on the bed. I'd probably get up there and jump with her. Tell me y'all wouldn't. And it doesn't even say how old she is, just said she was a little girl. So I'd be like, hi, what's up? I'd probably want to jump with her and be like, oh, this is fun. Because to me, that's like a welcome. Like, hey, a new person, let's play. So the last one I have is called the Wolf Hotel, and this is in Ellenwood. Now, apparently the whole town of Ellenwood is haunted. But I tried to pick the most haunted place of each place because my hand can only write so much. Now, this place was built in 1894, and it was listed on the National Register of Historical Places in 2002. It's a commercial two-part block building. It was a high-end hotel with 30 rooms and was a popular stop for salesmen and guests traveling by railroad on the Santa Fe Trail. Now, the town of Ellenwood is full of underground tunnels that led to other buildings and the other businesses. This hotel, the Wolf Hotel, is where you get to the tunnels that led to the other buildings. It connected all the shops and even had an underground economy on its own. They were originally used for a place to store and to distribute bootlegged alcohol. And I'm still thinking like, what's it called? What's my strawberry? What's my watermelon that I like? I'm having a brain fart. Really? Moonshine. Yeah. Okay. There it is. Yeah. Yes. Moonshine. Okay. Today, honeydew. I love honeydew. I love honeydew melon and cantaloupe, and there's a cantaloupe in there waiting to be cut. So today it operates as a bed and breakfast. It also hosts comedy shows, has an escape room, a Prohibition era themed saloon, and people can take tours of the underground tunnels that are still accessible. Now, it's said to be haunted by several spirits. There is a ghost named Bernard Millet. Now, he died in the Sunflower dining room in 1927 because he choked to death. There's also a man named Tom Drake who had a harness shop down in the tunnels. He designed custom items for people themselves or for businesses out of metal or wood. People believe he is still down in the tunnels because sometimes you can go down and smell the hot metal and smoke like he's still working on them. His tools and his equipment are still there today on display, right in the same exact place in the tunnels where his business was. There's another business located down in the tunnels, and it was like a tri store. I had 3 different kinds of stores in one. It was a Jung's Barbershop, Ellenwood Bathhouse, and laundromat all in one. Now, this is kind of weird. So this is where the hidden cowboy life existed, okay? You can see the riddled bullet holes in the walls, so you can only imagine what occurred there. Back then, while waiting for your turn for a haircut or bath, you could play cards with your friends, have a smoke and a drink. In addition to your shave and a haircut, you could get a tonsillectomy with a shot of whiskey as your anesthetic, and you'll recover in a wheelchair. Now, the original barbershop chair and the wheelchair are still there today on display in the same exact place as you could go in this tunnel. Guests and staff have both claimed that the wheelchair will roll itself and go in circles. Sometimes you'll hear the vibration of an you will hear the vibration of an electric shaver. You can also smell cigarette smoke and whiskey. There are no alcohol and smoking allowed down there. Body figures appear, and then they will walk through the walls. Bright orbs will appear and seem to follow people. You can hear footsteps sometimes or banging on the walls. Not all the time, but people have claimed to feel like they were hit in the back and it took the air out of them. And they said it was hard to breathe in certain areas. They just didn't mention which areas. And that's all I have. I don't think I would like to like get hit in the back and take my air from me. I don't think I'd like that very much at all. But I'd love to because they do tours. They will do ghost tours of these the underground tunnels, and that hotel is that place is the only place you can access the tunnels currently anymore. So yeah, I would absolutely love to go on one of those tours and see all that. But I would definitely have my camera out, snapping and recording for sure. That is all I have for Kansas. But yeah, I knew you guys would remember us talking about the Sally house before. So remember, the next state we are doing is Kentucky. All right, let me just double check. Yes, we are going to be doing Kentucky, and then we'll do Louisiana after that. So Kentucky is the next state that we'll be doing, but I won't be doing another state until next Wednesday. Now, if you guys remember, I'm going to be having the podcast on Saturday instead of Sunday this weekend, because Annie will be here. We're going to the Watermelon Festival Saturday afternoon. I just thought of something. So I'm going to have to get my podcast scheduled early that morning. So I'm going to have to schedule the podcast early Saturday morning. So, because just depending on what time we get home, I don't want to get home at like 7 to come on at 8, and then I don't have time to schedule anything and can't have it or anything. You know what I mean? So I try to give people a little few hours notice at least. So, but yeah, so that's going to be Saturday instead of Sunday, since she's going to be here with me, because we are doing our sour challenge. It's a sour candy challenge that we're doing again. If you remember, we've done the chamoy pickle thing. And hello, Pete Whitmore. So you guys remember Pete Rumpa? You remember Pete Whitmore? Remember, he on TikTok would come into our lives a lot, and he's in the UK and he was gamer, and him and Annie kind of had like a long. Anyway, we hadn't seen him in a while. Well, he reached out to me today, and he told me, and I guess he's doing really well now. Reaper, that's what it was. That's what he went by. Yes. He's been dating this girl, and she's pregnant, and they're having twins. And now I can't remember. Did you tell me they were both girls, or a girl and a boy, or what? But he asked if he could name the girl Cece. Y'all, I almost teared up. And congratulations, Pete. I'm so happy for you and your woman. And please send me pictures. And yes, it's an honor that you guys would even think of me. And yeah, so, and I think it's, oh God, I think he said in October she's due. So anyway, so there's that too. So congratulations, Pete. I'm so glad you came in and said hi. And Rumpa will be here in 8 days. He will be here next Thursday, July 3rd. Right, next Thursday is July 3rd, I think. Not this coming Thursday, the next Thursday. So he'll be here. Yeah, not tomorrow, next Thursday. One girl, one boy, and it was her idea. She literally pulled the name out of a hat. Oh, I got you. Well, it's a great name. It's a great name. And what are you going to name the boy? You should have them kind of like a CC and a Cecil, or I don't know. You should make them kind of rhyme. At least start with the same name. They should start with the same name, same initials. I've always believed that. The same initials for twins, at least. What was I? Anyway, yes. So I'm gonna do the podcast Saturday night instead of Sunday. Rumpa will be here next Thursday. He will be here from July 3rd to July 7th. And it's not this weekend, but next weekend is our birthday. So his birthday is July 5th on Saturday, and my birthday is July 6th next Sunday. So we will be going live. We are meeting in High Springs for the night of Saturday, so he can he's going to meet the whole fucking gang. So get ready. You're going to meet Julie and Terry and Rita. And Rita even told me of something she was going to do today. So I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. But anyway. But yes, I now work security, hoping to work my way to close protection. He's being named Christopher. Nice. That's very good. Christopher and Cece. That is wonderful. That's very good. And I'm just very happy for you, Pete. I'm very happy you've got your shit together. And I don't know her. I'm hoping that she treats you well, and that you're happy. And tell her I said hi. But yes, please keep me updated and please send me photos. So anyway, I was trying to keep you guys updated. Saturday, we're going to Watermelon Festival. I think I've talked about this before on here. I was not aware that there is a yellow watermelon and an orange watermelon. I've only known of the green the green outside with the red inside. It's all I've ever known about. That's all I've ever eaten. And now I'm told that there is yellow inside and orange watermelon. And I cannot wait to try it. I cannot fucking wait to try it. So, yep, me and Andy's just going to we're going to leave early. I'm going to feed breakfast and do their pools. And then I will be on my way to Georgia for the day. No. Oh, okay. So that's totally different. The honeydew is totally different here. The honeydew melon reminds me more of a squash. Like it's not, I'm just saying with the seeds, it's honeydew and cantaloupe are more melons. But no, these are literally, the cantaloupe, that's cantaloupe is totally different. And the honeydew is green and the cantaloupe is orange. Yes, but they're delicious. They are delicious. I love them. But no, these are actual watermelons. And one is yellow and one is orange. And apparently they're sweeter than the red ones. So I'm excited. I am all kinds of fucking excited that I'm going to the Watermelon Festival and that I get to try them all. I'm going to try my hardest to buy some yellow and orange and bring home because my mom hasn't tried them either. And I'd like to bring some home and maybe plant some outside. Yes, honeydew's green and cantaloupe's orange. And they're so tasty. Right out of the fridge, you just cut them and put them in the fridge and eat it cold. And Now, if you take, well, that just might be, I don't know. Well, no, because it's just a day trip. So it's an hour and a half drive from here. So we're going to just drive up and go for the day. And Wheezy and Tanya, you guys remember my brother, Wheezy and Tanya, they're meeting us there because it's a little past the halfway point, more closer to them. But it's an hour drive for them and an hour and a half drive for me. So we're going to spend the day there. And I don't think we can drink since we got to drive home. But we will have a cocktail for the podcast. Because once we get home, we're going to do the podcast. And that's when we're going to do the sour candy challenge. And that we decided to do that Saturday instead of Sunday. I've done the watermelon crawl, though. So I will tell you that, okay, if you cut cantaloupe into small little cubes, just keep slicing, get the small cubes, put cantaloupe, strawberries, kiwis, right? And grapes. Just cut them up real small. Okay. Mix them together. Take some lime juice and honey. Lots of honey. And just mix it. Holy crap, that salad. That fucking fruit salad right there. You're welcome. You can use any fruit. Instead of grapes, throw pineapple in it. Just cut it up real small, little cubes. Mix it all together. You could do watermelon. I personally would do cantaloupe, strawberries, bananas, and kiwi. That would be my 4 that I would want. And I'd cut them up a whole bunch, and I would just drizzle the fucking honey all over that shit and put some lime juice on there. You're welcome. Wait a minute. Did you say you tried a yellow watermelon? You just said that a yellow watermelon is like a honeydew over there. So do you have yellow and orange watermelons? Oh, I keep hearing this damn cicada out my window. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm going to, oh shit. Okay. Love you too, Pete. And congratulations again. And start popping in more and keeping in touch more often. And pictures, please. And sweet dreams. But yeah, who doesn't want to try that fruit salad? I don't know. That sounds fucking delicious. I saw a video of it and I was like, let's do it. I want to do it. See, now I wouldn't want to do it with watermelon because watermelon is just all water. It's just a water fruit. You know what I mean? It's just so much water. I love eating watermelon by itself. And yes, growing up, I did put salt on watermelon. It's not like you dump a whole bunch of salt on it. You just do a slight sprinkle. See, talking about it's making my mouth water. It's a slight sprinkle of salt over the top. Just to add that little bit of a salt with that cold, watery sweetness. So yes, salt does go on watermelon, but not all the time. It wasn't something you would do all the time though. But the salt, that little bit of a sprinkle, that saltiness helps you. It makes you appreciate the sweetness of that watermelon. I shit you not. It's delicious. But people think salt on watermelon, did you just sit here and no, it's just a quick little sprinkle over the top, just enough to get a little, like 1 or 2 little salt drops, salt flake, whatever you call them, where you're going to bite. Good. Okay. Good deal. All right. Good night, Pete. 2 a.m. Let's see. 9. So I always forget. They're 5 hours ahead of us. And if don't y'all remember when Trauma and I would go live on TikTok all the time. And remember, she would argue with the guy about the fucking tea and crumpets. Don't y'all remember the fucking argument with the tea and crumpet? That's the tea and crumpet that she would argue with him. Yes, that's what but they didn't remember because I was trying to make them remember because everybody was there. Go to bed, Pete. I'm not the one to tell that to. Wait till Trauma's on here. Trauma comes on here with me. Oh, goodness. Anyway, I think I've got you guys all updated. going to do Saturday instead of Sunday. Rumpa will be here, not tomorrow, but next Thursday. I will pick him up and he'll be here through Sunday. So you will all get to see and meet Rumpa on here because he will be here. And we will go live. You just said you were going to bed, that it was 2 a.m. there. So you guys will get to meet Rumpa if you haven't before and see how crazy fun he is. And yeah, it's going to be, the next couple weeks are going to be fun. Anyway, I am going to be live over here on Clapper for a little while longer. I am going to get off of here. I hope everyone enjoyed my new room. I kind of added a few things. Unless you didn't notice, I'm in my new podcast room. I have more room behind me. I've added a few things, but my chair is kind of blocking. Love you too, Pete. But yeah, I moved all of my stuff into another room. So I have a little bit more room to move my chair around and I'm not hitting the wall behind me constantly and all that good stuff. And y'all know how I feel about the chakras. Oops, this way. It's those right there is right there. Y'all know how I feel about those. It's my protection from evil. So anyway, I am going to get off here. Thank you guys so much for joining. And you guys are the shit. I love you guys. I'll see you over on Clapper.